I want to give another example of a commitment strategy. Right? I think this idea of commitment is an important one, and we have just about time to do it. So I wanted to go completely away from the context of our lender-borrower game a second and look somewhere else entirely. All right, so we get rid of this for now. I want to take us back to 1066. What happened in 1066? What happened in 1066? I know this is America and no one gets an education anymore, but still, what happened in 1066? The Norman conquest took place in 1066, right? So the Norman army invades from Normandy, led by William the Conqueror, and lands on the Sussex beaches at Hastings. All right? And what I want to imagine is a game involving the Norman army, or William the Conqueror in particular, and the Saxon army. All right? So here's the little game. So we're now in the area of medieval military strategy. All right? And here is the game. We'll start with the Saxons here. The Normans have already invaded, so I guess the Normans have already moved. But here's the Saxon army making a decision. They're deciding between fighting and the important medieval military tactic known as running away. And of course, the Normans are going to know whether the Saxons are actually going to charge down the beach and attack them, and they are going to have to decide whether to fight or run away. All right? And let's put the payoffs in. Now leave some space below here. Leave some space down here on your notes. All right? Let's put the payoffs in. So I'm going to put the Norman payoffs first and the Saxon payoffs second. Okay? Norman payoffs first, Saxon payoffs second. All right? So the payoffs are going to be like this. If both sides fight, a lot of people end up dead, and we'll call that 0-0. If the Saxons fight and the Normans run away, the Saxons get 2 and the Normans get 1, because at least they're alive. If the Saxons run away and the Normans fight, then the Normans get 2 and the Saxons get 1. It just flips things around. And if both lots run away, then ultimately it's good for the Saxons. All right? So this is the game. All right, let's be careful. I've put the Saxon payoff second. Put the Saxon payoff second. If we analyze this game by backward induction, we can see that the Normans are in trouble. Why are the Normans in trouble? Because if they are attacked by the Saxons, then fighting yields 0 and running away yields 1, so they're going to run away. And conversely, if the Saxons run away, then in fact the Normans will stay and fight, because it's easy to stay and fight against people who are running away. Even I can do that. All right? So they're going to go for 2 rather than 1. But now the Saxons face this choice. They know that if they attack the Normans will run away and the Saxons will get 2. But if the Saxons run away, then the Normans will stay and fight, and the Saxons will only get 1. So the Saxons are going to end up fighting. All right? Right, everyone see how we did the backward induction? So this is not a good situation if you happen to be the Norman commander, if you're the guy who led these troops across the Channel. All right? So what did William the Conqueror do? He burnt his ships, all right? So let's now make this game a little bit more like the real historical situation. Here's a move that William the Conqueror, the king of the Normans, can do. He can either not burn his ships, or he can burn them. If he burns them, then the game is rather different. Once again, the Saxons can decide whether to fight or run away, but now the Normans really don't have any choice. They have to stay and fight, because swimming back to France wearing armor is difficult. All right, so the payoffs become 0-0 and 2-1 as before. All right, so we know now that the Normans are going to stay and fight. That's all that's available to them. I've put it that they don't even have the option of running away. If you want, you could put running away yields them minus infinity or whatever it is to get drowned. All right? So now, if the Saxons, if the Normans have burnt the boats, the Saxons know that if they fight, the Saxons will get 0. If they run away, they'll get -1. So now they'll run away. And then from William the Conqueror's point of view, what's he choosing between? He knows that if he doesn't burn his boats, the Saxons will fight and his troops will run away. But if he does burn his boats, the Saxons will run away and his troops will fight, so he wants to burn his boats. All right, everyone okay with the example? All right. Now this is probably the classic example of a commitment strategy. Right? William the Conqueror in this example, or Cortez in perhaps the more famous example, burn the boats to get rid of some strategies, to get rid of some choices altogether. And you might think, how can getting rid of choices make me better off? And the reason in a game, particularly in a sequential game, but in a game generally, the reason getting rid of choices can make me better off is it changes the behavior of people on the other side of the game in such a way as benefits me. In this particular example, it makes the other side less likely to fight. All right? So once again, this is a commitment. It's a commitment, and the way it works is, this example of a commitment is actually to have fewer options. To have fewer options, and it changes the behavior of others. If it didn't change the behavior of others, it wouldn't be worth doing.